ultimately, right, you came here to become an infinite being in a finite world. It means using more of your beingness. It means using more of your brain, being more present, and choosing what you love in the finite world. But to arrive at that point, I train people to let go of all the things that you think you want. Because when you let go of all the things that you want, you start to become aware of what's true for you. I mean, think about it, the last 1-2 years of your path has been reconnecting and connecting with, oh, this is true for me. You've been letting go of all the things that you thought were true for you, all the things that you have agendas for, all the things that you felt you needed. You're peeling layers and layers of skin away to get to the point of going, this is what I desire, and have it come to form. Hang on one sec. But to answer your question, you are imagining this iPhone. You know that. You know you manifested the iPhone.
Yes.
You decided, I want this. You're just not aware of it. You manifested the idea, we're all one. The idea dropped into one person who comes up, and who's that one person? It's another aspect of yourself, and brings this idea into fruition. What is the idea into fruition? It is the desire, the desiring, the willingness. And somewhere they would have seen it. They would have imagined it. I don't know if that answers your question, or if I got your question 100%.
Yeah. No, it does. I guess what I was asking in a roundabout way, I can't really remember the context of that, but what came up for me recently is, last time I was in Italy, I bought these pair of glasses. I walked into the shop, I said, yeah, I'll take them. I love them, they're fantastic. I lost them on the plane, and I haven't bought a pair of glasses since, because there's been nothing that I've liked.
Yeah.
A couple of days ago, I went to about 4 or 5 different glass shops. I must have tried on at least, I don't know, 50 pairs of glasses. There's nothing that kind of fitted, that brought,
So?
Caught me. Well, I don't know what I'm looking for, so I don't really know to imagine what I'm looking for. But I see this, if I saw a pair that someone's created that caught my eye, I would, I'd want that.
Okay.
I want to wear that, it looks, something about it attracts me. Moves me to get it. So then I think, well, isn't that contradicting what you spoke about earlier?
As long as there's no charge.
Yeah.
You see, that's the difference.
That's...
If it's like, man, I want those because if I don't have them, I'm not going to feel as worthy as that guy, like, which is what all the advertisement is. It's like, the other day I saw an ad here in Italy about, some famous soccer guy training soccer kids, and they all wanted to be like him, and he gave them a chocolate bar, and like, well, if you eat this, you're going to be like me, That's like, well, I want that. I want that because I want to be like, you see, there's a charge. When I say there's a charge, it's based on a positive or negative, not the positive and negative together. So it's like, I want that because if I don't have that, it means this. Or I don't want that because if I have that, it means that. There's meanings associated with that. There's not love. Do you understand?
Yeah.
When I say you can have anything you want as long as you don't want it, if you take the want out, there is only love. Put that in there. Another little seed. You can have anything you want as long as you don't want it. If you take the want out, all that's left is love. I love that. If you say, and it's come from a reference point. Here's these glasses, and I'm the same as you, by the way. Like, when I buy glasses, I usually keep them for years because it's very in the story. I can't find one that fits my face. But the other day, we were in Corso, what's it called? Via Corso in Roma, and Jamie walked in there to look at Jamie's. I call them what do they call them? Miami glasses. And Jamie looked at this. He's wearing these glasses, and he goes, "What do you think?" I go, "You look like Hawaii 5-0." And I didn't even think about it, right? And then there was these other ones, which is exactly the same, right? And I was just like, oh, perfect fit. And I just bought it straight away, right? So it's a reference point. So if it's a neutral reference point, it's not contradicting. It's just like, oh, I would love that. I could look at a picture of Italy and go, oh, I love that. Like, you feel connection with it, not need with it. Need to it. You feel yourself in it.
So can you give me a reference point of when you'd need it? Of how it would feel to need it?
I need to get away from Australia.
Oh, okay.
I need a holiday.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love a holiday. I would love to be at Hawaii right now.
That would make me feel...
That, because I need to get away from here. I need a break.
I need to get sunglasses like the ones I had before.
So that's where it's need, okay? So when it's love, you just like, oh, like, I love it. Like, for example, when is it love and when is it lust? Same thing. Lust is more out of need. Oh, I've got to get my rocks off, like, is that what they say?
Yeah.
In Australia, I don't know.
In Australia, you Americans don't say that?
Yeah,
got to get your rocks off? It's just like, oh man, geez, I'm feeling toey,
Toey?
I haven't heard
That's
that.
more English one, I think.
It's more lust, it's more lust, it's not love. So it's same thing. What other reference point? Like,
Horny in American.
what is that in American?
Horny.
Horny. That's the shirt. Next shirt. Are you horny? Am I making you horny?
Oh my God,
That's already taken. Yeah. So can you see the difference?
Yeah.
It's just, how can I describe when you just feel love for something? There's no reason. It's just, I love this. Like, that you can have. The moment you bring need into it, you can't have. You can have the need of it. That's how simple that statement is. Anything you want, anything, it's yours. As long as you love it. Love means you see yourself in it. As soon as you bring need into it, you become smaller than it. You put it higher than you. And it becomes like an uphill treadmill. And it's just almost there, like a carrot being dangled in front of you. You did that. So, yeah, to answer your question on that one.
And that sort of love is also the love that when you have this, it makes you feel like you've always had it. It was never missing.
Yeah.
Is that the same?
It's a deep affiliated connection. And why it's so deep that you feel connected or you feel one with it. So from a formless perspective, you don't lack it.
Yeah.
Same as when someone's passed on and someone feels a deep affiliation or a deep connection with that person who's passed on, who's no longer here in form. They feel one with that person in formlessness.
Hence why you don't go up or down, because there's nothing missing.
That's right. It's a bit close to Solomon's head, isn't it? Jamie, you're blocking.
It's so talking about that feeling of change. What I just recently realized when I was like on our break was that sense of I don't any longer feel that need or want to consistently have to change and be different. It's like it's like I'm at peace in a sense of where I'm at, and where in the past it was like, well, no, I don't want to feel this way. I shouldn't be this way. I have to change this consistently, or I want to be this. I want to be this. I want to be this. So kind of the carrot dangling thing that you're talking about, and it's. And the funny thing is, and then on the other side, it's like things just change consistently without me needing to change them. Just because they are. All of a sudden I see myself, oh, this is, it's like the store. Oh, so now I'm running a store.
Yeah.
And now I'm walking this way. And
Yeah.
oh, now this is happening.
Exactly right. So from that space, right, as you go deeper into that space, where you no longer need it, you can have anything. Now, it's an art form or a practice to start bringing your awareness into this is what I love. You're already doing this. You guys are already doing this. It's not new what I'm saying to you. I'm just bringing your awareness into it. You loved to be here, and therefore you are here. If there was a need, those aren't here. Not everyone's here. If it was a need, it's always out of reach. Like, there would have been a deep love. I remember when you joined up to this group, like, it was like a yes straight away. You felt a deep connection with the group and with where we're going. It was yes, right? And you went through your process, and whatever your process was, I don't think your process was anything of needness. Like, it wasn't like I need to be part of the group. I didn't feel that from you, but it was, it was the how. How am I going to be part of this group? But what overcame the how was a deep enough connection with, but I love it. That's it. Like, how can I put that into words? I fly planes because I love it. I do what I'm doing with you guys and speaking about because I love it. I travel the world because I love it. I have an office and a lounge in Bondi Beach because I love it. Do you understand? Like, there is nothing after I love it. It's like the truth is there's nothing afterwards. Love is there's nothing afterwards. Because I love it. Those shirts I got done for us, it's what that means. It says, because I am infinite. It's like, because I can. Remember the OMG when I talked to you about that? Because I can. Not because I can because the story says I can, because I have so much space around it and it feels like I can. Like, if you want to now, Carolyn, start a business or a new TV show, like, you have so much love for that. To start your own, we met on a radio show. You interviewed me on the radio show. if you love that, and you do, you talk about, you know, the way you describe, you know, interviewing people, and you know, like you love that. The only thing that stops you in proceeding with what you love and having what you love is, I need to do that. So what does need come into it? Well, the how influences it. Like, well, how is it going to happen? Well, I need to do this in order for that to happen. Like, there is nothing, like, it's just, I love it. Like, that is as simple as that. I love it. And I can speak to you guys about this without going, you know, well, you know, some of the things that you think you love is actually not your love, because they actually have agendas. We're deep and beyond that. So I don't need to have that conversation. You know what's true for you. Because I love it. And if you love it, it's because I can. Because when you love something, it's all that you feel is space for it. So what do you feel after you have space for it? I can. The story still says you can't, but I just move forward, and then I notice I can. Like, the feeling and following the feeling, that's a given. The gap and jumping the gap, that's a given. I'm not here talking to you guys about that. You've already, you know, and I told you the gap doesn't get easier to jump over. You just have less fear in jumping over it. And it's continuing. You're just continuously jumping the gap. If you're living this way, and there's always a gap there because it's formless. It's emptiness, so there's always a gap. So if you don't like the uncertainty and you don't like the gap and the feeling it gives you, well, go and live a life of certainty and build parameters. Then you can see where the beginning and the end is, and then you feel safe. I'm not pointing at you, I'm just using your reference of having parameters.
When you use the word gap, are you referencing like the feeling of risk? I gotta take that
The
leap.
feeling of following a feeling. Remember we spoke about you following a feeling and taking a step where there's no path. So, and then when does the path show up? When you've stepped on it. That's what I'm saying. It's always a gap. I'm following continuously, gap by gap, moment by moment. You would not believe it. I mean, I'm sure you guys would. But what you guys have begun to do is what I used to do. It just happens that I do it more and more often. What we're describing, people may only experience once or twice in their lifetime, where they really took a risk. Like they fell in love with somebody, they trusted themselves to fall in love, they let themselves fall in love with somebody, even if they could be hurt. That's following a feeling. Or they started a business this one time, or they moved country. It's just, because how many times do I talk about this and people are like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've had that happen to me once in my life. Once! But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to give them the fuel to go, wow, if I did it before, I could do it again. What's that term? Don't ask to get more, or don't ask, what is that? Great quote. Don't ask for it to be easier, ask for yourself to be stronger. That's why it doesn't get easier. The gap is still always there. You just get more expanded. And as you become more expanded, remember, the fear is still there, the smallness is still there, as long as you're living in the physical form. But in the expansion of things, this fear becomes nothing. Becomes something, becomes nothing. Remember that in OMG?
I guess this is what I'm feeling right now. Doesn't the story in some ways get bigger for you to be able to play that bigger game? Or are you bigger in a sense of the consistent games that come through?
I think sure, the story can seem to be getting bigger. Like you start playing at a bigger level. Yeah. But that's what makes the gap. It's like, I'm doing aerobatic flying. Like it's more maneuvers and more G's that will give me the same sense of adrenaline. So the story continues and it gets bigger, but after you jump over that gap so many times, it almost gets to a point where it doesn't, well, not almost, it does get to a point where it doesn't matter how big the story is, it doesn't matter how big the gap is. It's just like you get to a point where you don't even fear death. Like, that's the worst thing that can happen, right? And you're not even fearing that. So then, you know, there's no gap. You know, I mean, there is a gap, but there's no fear around the gap. You just have no fear. You imagine what you desire. In the beginning, there was one infinite energy. This one infinite energy manifested itself in its imagination into form. I, Amir, sitting here in this chair, is what I manifested myself, or what I imagined myself to be in this form. I then manifested other parts of myself to be what I see in the other forms. I, as the one, manifested myself to be this form as Amir. This is what I imagined. Listen carefully now. I am now an infinite being in a finite world. But I also manifested myself, the form part, to be asleep. As Amadeus's mum said yesterday. When I, as the form, wake up, I, as the form, can imagine what I, as the one, desires. So therefore I become an infinite being in a finite world. I use this form, I as this form, I should say, not use this form, I as this form, as this drop of the ocean. You've heard that term before, where the drop of the ocean has the whole ocean within the drop. I think it's a Rumi poem or quote. The drop of the ocean has the entire ocean within it. I am the desired. I, this physical, am the imagined. But I, when I wake up, and how do I wake up? By taking my attention off the illusion, I awaken. Then I imagine what I, as the one, desires. I imagine what I desire. At first, I spoke to you about letting it find you. Yes, love will find you. I said let go of all the things that you desire. What is that doing? Taking your attention off form. Bringing your attention to the moment. As you bring your attention to the moment, you bring your attention closer and closer to yourself as the formless. I manifested myself in my own imagination into this form. And this fly into that form too. I lost myself or fell asleep in this form. But as I bring my awareness closer to who I am, by taking my attention off all the distractions of who I'm not, I wake up. And as I awaken, I imagine what I desire. I become an infinite being in a finite world. The physical is limited, but I'm not the physical. I move the physical. The drop is limited, but I'm not drop. I am the ocean moving the drop. I, as the one, manifested myself into this form through my own imagination. And when I wake up from the form, by taking my attention off the form, I imagine what I desire. Can you feel what I'm saying here? Because up to this point, it has been about letting go of all your ego, letting go of all external things, and realizing who you are. And when you realized who you are, there was this connection between you and the ocean and the one, right? This is where we left off last time. There was you and there was the one. Isn't that where we left off? That's the closest I could get you to it, is by getting you to realize there is you and there's the one. It's still two, but that's the closest I can get you to it. Until you can make the two into one and realize it's you that is imagining, it is you as the one that is desiring. You as the desired, as the form, you imagine what you as the one desires. Why would the one desire anything? You came here to be an infinite being in a finite world. What is desiring? It is taking what is love, that is formless, and bringing it into form. It is a greater sense of creativity. That is pure creativity. Taking a feeling and bringing it into form. That is the description of creativity. So when you're asking me, who is I? You answer that. Who is I? I manifested myself into this form. So I manifested myself through my imagination into this form. I then thought I was the form. I then thought I was separate. I then thought I was limited. Then I realized that was a dream and that I was asleep. Then I began to bring my attention back to me and realize what moves me. Then I realized my connection with me. And the one I am to be. Yes? Then I realized that it was always me that desired and manifested through my imagination. You imagine. You are now free to imagine. What are you free to imagine? What you desire. Who's desiring? The same one that is imagining. You sat back, you peeled away, you worked on yourself, you let go of agendas, you let go of stories, and you became aware of the feeling that moved you. What then? So that you could sit back and act on the feeling that moves you? Well, yes, it's a very amazing feeling. You're living moment by moment, you're living amazing, like it's amazing. I love it. Following the feeling that moves me. But go deeper. And what if you were to realize that you are the feeling that is moving you? To think, you think you are this body, but the feeling that is moving you, where is that coming? The desire that is desiring through you, where is that coming from? Your imagination is infinite. You manifesting yourself through your imagination into this physical form. Now you manifest yourself from the physical form to the what? Formless. The same way you got here, the same way you go back. You're doing this moment by moment. The iceberg needs to melt back into the ocean before you can back into the nothingness, before you can form it into a new shape. You imagined yourself here. Now you use the same imagination that's always been infinite, never has it been finite, to imagine yourself back to nothing. And then from there, you imagine what you love. This is not law of attraction. Because the law of attraction is the drop, imagining it. And imagining is from already something that's been formed. But imagine only what you want without needing it. You can have anything you want as long as you don't want it. So how can you want something? So if the droplet is listening to me right now, it's thinking, okay, great, I'm going to leave here and I'm going to start imagining all the things that I want in my life. You only imagine from the nothingness. What's the nothingness? Love. So therefore you only imagine what you love. You can have anything you want as long as you don't want it. What is that? It's the very thing, I love it. Because I love it. Why are you doing that? Because I love to. Why do you have that? Because I love it. Why are you going there? Because I love to. Why are you being this way? Because I love it. Can you see how I can't have this conversation with you 12 months ago? Or 24 months ago? Or when someone's doing first month of OMG? Because it's getting referenced from a different place. Who's listening is different. So, let's get the mic. Let's check in. Tell me how you're feeling. Questions, comments, observations, contributions.
Ninja sounds.
Right. So like when you were just talking, like one of the things.
You just put it there. Yep.
One of the things that I was thinking about, or like the image that came to me was like that point in that film that you like with Matt Damon. What's it called?
Bag of Ants.
No, but
Born Supremacy.
the other.
Bag of ants?
What? No, the one where he gets to the point of free will, where he's standing on the rooftop.
Revolver?
Really?
Not Matt Damon.
You love this movie. You
Tom
talk-
Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
I mean,
Not Matt Damon. Tom Cruise.
No, it's not in any of the stuff.
Which movie is that?
Didn't you like sneak into the film? No, that's a bad way of saying it, but
Is this in America? Did I watch it?
and the girl who's with him is British.
No. It's hey?
The blonde,
No. I know what you're talking about.
the one that they follow, they break.
It's like he's got
They break the
Yeah, the hat.
the
What's
hats.
that called?
Oh, we got to know now. Matt Damon, yeah, with the British girl.
But I can't say it.
Yeah, I know.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
three
right.
words, something
Yes,
of
and they put a
something.
ship
Anyway, he gets to the rooftop and it's like, there is no plan at some point because he's gotten to that point where it's a matter of like free will. It feels like to me, that's what you're talking about,
Yeah.
which is like, I guess true freedom.
Yeah.
The other thing I guess that I was thinking about earlier was like the only time that I notice that I need, like the word is like lack. It's when I feel a lack. And then I notice I'm fixing, improving, or changing the story, or even if it's expressing how I feel about the story, I can feel like underneath that, I'm like, well, why am I even doing that? Not to not express, because that can be important too, but oftentimes I'll realize I'm like, well, I'm expressing that desire because it's a need, but that need is being driven by some lack or perception of lack that I'm experiencing.
And how do you get out of that to imagine something new? Because you don't imagine to change what you have, because that's already been manifested. You can't change what's been manifested. Okay? It's manifested. If you want to manifest something new, the iceberg has got to melt, right? How do you get to manifest from the nothingness?
What do I love?
Yes, what you love, yes. But how do you get to that, what you love? How can you sense love? How can you get to the nothingness?
Accept it.
Hey?
Accept it.
Can you put your
Accept it, yeah.
Well, let go of like I guess the way like the example I use is like with like relationship, you know, where I'll notice that I'm trying to change how that.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
It's an illusion. Just see how you feel about that. That very relationship that you're trying to change, you must see that it is an illusion. At the moment you see that it is an illusion, there's no more charge, right? And you are in the nothingness. Now you imagine.
I feel like I was just reduced to.
Yeah, because you had some amazing story about your story there. Like,
Right.
you know, you had some great formula you were about to tell me of your story. It's an illusion. It's not real. Because if that's real, then you're real, then the oneness is not. Then infinity is not. It's not real. That your connection to what you think is real is what makes you small and what makes you attached. You cannot imagine from there. That is the drop imagining. You must first see the truth. It's not real. It's just the role you're playing in this relationship. The person is just a role they're playing in your relationship. If you're trying to change the relationship, you know you won't be able to change it. It's going to continue with the same cycle. Then you change into a new relationship, the same thing happens.
For me, there's something very important right there in terms of it's not as simple for me right now to say it's not real. It's not real because if that's real, then I'm not infinite. There's a thing for me in there that there's a richness to that I don't incorporate necessarily every time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just say, oh, it's an illusion.
Yeah.
And that's like an avoidance.
Yeah.
It's not getting to the truth.
That's right. Yeah. It's I mean, you see, if it's real, any imagining you're doing is like thinking. It's like visualizing mixed with thoughts. It's like water that is clear, and the moment it's real, it becomes muddied water. You release mud in there, and it's just, you can't see it. You're still imagining, but it's all mud. It's mud. And the more thought and emotions you have, the thicker the mud gets, to the point where it's no longer even fluid. It's like what do they call it? Quicksand. But when you're imagining from nothing, it's just pure clear water. You see straight through it. Now we're going to put the camera in front of you, Jamie. Put your shirt on first. No, seriously, turn around. Just flip it on you. Don't worry, you're editing it, so you can fix it. You can look at me still.
Yeah, okay.
He gets all nervous now.
As you were speaking, like just every word was just like hitting home, like seriously resonating with me. I think one of the things that has opened up so much in the past, say, 6 months is when you said it's an illusion. The way that I've realised I've done that is something that's been my words is, you know, all that's real is what I feel, full stop. And I think that's just taken away any bits and pieces of power they've had in what I thought was real.
Yeah.
So all the thinking of, you know, the thinking just stops. It's just become very quiet, and some crazy things have just been unfolding. And it's just like the doors open. It's just like that energy just moves. And, everything you just said then was just like bang, bang, bang.
You know when you know you've seen the illusion or transcended it is because at the moment you go, it's not real, the thoughts just go, like it's just you feel a silence. But at the same time, if you have some power in what you think is not real, you can feel it almost fighting to come back in. You're like, yeah, but seriously, come on. You know, it's like you're like, but you know if you've nailed it because it just goes, what do you want now? Now you can have whatever you want. Now you can imagine. You came here to be an infinite being in a finite world.
Then it also becomes fun to know you're playing in the finite world. But before, you didn't really know because you're still attached, you're still in need.
Yeah. This is the next piece of the puzzle for you to work on for the next 6 or 12 months or whenever we decide to meet again. But don't forget, this came 6 months ago. I put it out there for you to start pondering on it. You imagine what you desire. Hear me out though, just to put this, nail it and finish it. You as the imagined, as this finite being, when you know you are not this finite being, then you as this drop, as the creative, you imagine. Then you feel what you call desiring to do something. Remember, love is what finds you. But where does the love come from? You imagine. You imagine. But imagine from nothing. Brand new painting, as you said beautifully, brand new canvas. But that's all you do. I love this means I am imagining this. That's it. That's it. That's it done. Then you go, oh, I got a feeling. Then what do? You follow the feeling. Now, we've worked our way backwards. We said, first of all, you did the WTF. First of all, the things that you think you love ain't necessarily what you love. Because love doesn't have an agenda. Love has no reason. So then you start finding all these things that actually you didn't love. So you started working backwards. Then you started to find the things that's really true for you and what you truly love. And you started working backwards. Then we talked about, well, love is not something you find. Love is something that finds you. So you listened for the feeling that moves you. And we spoke about that you must follow the feeling. And you follow the feeling not because of the result or the outcome, but because you become one with the feeling. And when you become one with the feeling, you feel alive. It's because you're alive when you follow the feeling. Now we go one more backwards. You imagine yourself here. You imagine yourself with what you love. You choose. You imagine. Do you get that? That is an instruction. You got to really decode this, what I'm putting in here. You, Kira, you go imagine it. You imagine what you desire. And then you realize who is imagining. Remember, your imagination is infinite. when I say right now, you, John, you go and imagine, you're thinking, me, John? But as you begin to imagine, you realize, oh, it's not John imagining. It's the big John who was imagining the little John anyway. What, you don't think it's possible? We came here to be infinite beings in a finite world. Yes, you came here to find yourself. Yes, you came here to be free. This program, this group is about going and playing now. Well, this next part is about go and play. But you go imagine how you want to play. And then the feeling will come from what you imagined. Then you follow the feeling. And as you're imagining, you begin to realize who's imagining.
Just really brief. When you said earlier, imagine from the nothing, like almost instantly what came to me was that it's the nothing that's imagining, which is, I guess, my way of saying you imagine what you desire, and in like a compacted version. It was just like when you said that, I instantly went to like imagine from the nothing. I was just like, it's the nothing that's imagining, which brings all of this into form, which then within another layer is your imagination of what is being desired. Like, I don't know how to, I just liked the way that happened for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you were talking about me, I am the imagined.
Yeah.
And then the words, I awaken unto myself.
Yeah. Awesome. Who's feeling a little bit hot, bothered, and lost, or?
I have to go to the bathroom.
You have to go. I'm about to close off, so.
I'm a little hot, bothered, and lost, and I don't know what to say about it.
Well, here's a mic.
Just put it on your thing. Could be a long conversation.
I don't know what to say about it. I think this summer I've been living knowing that I should be feeling I'm the one and I'm limited and this is an illusion, but I would never transcend that. Like, I would know this is an illusion and I feel stuck, and that feeling I can't tap into. When you're talking about tapping into imagination, I think I know that feeling from the past. But to jump over to that other side, I couldn't do. And you're saying just think it's an illusion. It gets me hot bothered because it didn't work for me.
Mm-hmm. How does everyone else feel when I say it's an illusion?
Well, that's why I said,
attention on the truth.
yeah, for me there's a little more to it than that. It can sound, if I say it's just an illusion, it brings up for me like a denial. There's more for me to uncover and reveal than just stating that. Do you know what I'm saying?
So what does it mean when I say it's an illusion? What does that mean?
Well, for me, I connected to when you just said, if I say it's just an illusion, then that means that that's real and I'm separate and I'm this little person.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I can use that's just an illusion or that's an illusion and come to the truth of who I am. And then when I'm at that place of who I am, the realization of the awareness that I'm already expanded, I'm just getting a greater view of the already expanded who I am, then I operate from a place of power, and I can jump into the nothing. I can jump the gap because it's not me, the little John, jumping the gap.
Yeah. Right. Like the ego will never walk through the door. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Until it realizes that it is the door, or whatever that analogy was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, earlier when you said that, I referenced it back to I was just in my room a minute ago, and I like noticed that I was thinking about like finances and like worrying about money just for like a second, and then I was like, I just like caught myself, and like if I had let that go longer, then I actually would have started to feel like emotional anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
But it like in that moment, I just like switched my attention from the mind running to the truth, and it just like you said, it just like dropped away. And so like that's I find that I have to, if I don't catch myself early on in one of those ideas of limitation or whatever,
Yeah.
then I give it more and more power.
Oh, yeah.
It's much harder to go to that space of it's an illusion.
Absolutely. Now, once there's charge there, there's nothing you can do but go to a point of acceptance.
Right.
And, you know, it is what it is, and you know, embracing the emotions and being present with the emotions. Once you've entertained the thought, it's got you.
Yeah.
You know, and but like I would speak about when in the month of reclaiming power, and I say that you get to a point where, I'm sure I say this somewhere in there, but you get to a point where you're no longer, yeah, I do say this, you no longer need to reclaim power. You get to a point of just placing attention on the truth. Now, it depends how deep you are in the story. If you're deeper in the story than some others, then you're like, or in some areas of your life you have more power in, you're like, it's not an illusion. Like, even though you're saying it's an illusion, it's like out of denial, you know. You know, for me, most things in my life, I can just go, but that's not real. You know, like, and I don't, it's got to a point where I don't even say that's not real because I know it's not real. You know, and when I say it's not real, it's like, it's just a story, and the story doesn't have power. So to me, that's not real. That's not going to determine, you know, whether I have options or where I should do this or if I go back that way. That's not going to determine that. That to me is what's not real. You know, it doesn't have any power. The power is from the formless, and once it's manifested into form, the form doesn't have power. It just looks like it has power. The moon looks like it's bright, but it's not. It's just the sun shining its light onto the moon, and we think the moon is bright. It just looks like that. It appears that way. And it appears that way so then I can have parameters in my story. The story begins here, begins there. How disinteresting would it be if it had no parameters? We came here to be infinite being in a finite world. The finite world has to have parameters. Imagine we're going to go play a football game tomorrow, and there's no parameters. There's no sidelines. There's no touch line. There's no goal. There's no. We just play. You get the ball, we just run. You know, you need a time. You need space. You need parameters. You know, that's what makes the game. But it's not real. It's just a game. Do I feel all the emotions in the game? Yes, I'm meant to. But behind that, it's just a game. It's like you watch a football game, your football team, or you play a football game, and you lost the game. Well, life goes on, they say. Well, it does go on. It's just a game. And life does go on. Life has no beginning, has end. Life goes on. So, to me, like, most things in my life, I can go, like I said, I don't even say it's not real. Unless I'm speaking to Jamie or one of the other guys or a client, you know, I'm just like, place your attention on the truth. I just know that it appears that this is happening right now. So therefore, I experience it as it's happening, you know. So it's not like I'm like in denial. Do I have emotional reactions towards it? Yes. But it's very easily released because I come to bring my awareness that it's just a game, it's just an act, it's just a role they're playing, it's just this that's happening, it's just like, and then there's just no attachment to it. Nothing.
What I've been feeling while you were talking, I think for me to say it's not real, it isn't as, like I don't feel that as much as saying it's not who I am, which is one of the other things that you talk about, saying this isn't who I am. So in the situation, if I start going down that path, if I say to myself, you know, this isn't who I am, that is often what can turn.
You know what you should say, Carolyn? I am not only in this body.
I am not only in this
Yeah, I am not only here. I am there, I am there, I am there.
Yeah, I just have a hard time really getting that on a deeper level. So.
You got it, you just forget it. So you should, so it's exactly what
Okay.
So what do you, so okay, I get what you say, so, and then how do you feel afterwards?
I feel like that snaps me out of it.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely open to, you know, to going deeper with that.
Yeah.
That just seems to be where I am right now.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like the overall picture, I feel I've really had great success in jumping the gap in terms of the work that I do with you.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I've been able to always translate that successfully, you know, into other areas of my life, and that's what I'd really like to see happen. You know, I'd like to have more of that freedom and happiness that I feel here in other areas.
So what happens when you're here?
Well, you know, first of all, one thing I notice is that all of my internal judgments stop. So all the, you know, all the you should have, you shouldn't have, all of that stuff, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't feel any reflection of judgment, so that's very freeing for me. And then I think the other thing that happens is, let's see.
You should ask yourself how you choose to show up when you come here. How are you showing up? Like, what happens to your state of mind?
I just feel really free in my state of mind. I feel like totally myself, 100%
Okay.
of the time.
So you feel comfortable to be yourself.
Yes. I do.
All right. So then that's how you should show up in your life.
Okay.
And then you might see similar reflection.
Just such a cute smile.
Why is it different though for me? I mean, it shouldn't be as what.
Well, when you go back into your life, you decide to show up different. When you come here, you know you can be yourself, and you've chosen to be yourself when you come here. So as you come here, it changes. Your experience changes, your reflections, your friendships change, everything's, and then you think it's the circle or it's the group.
No, I know it's not that.
Then if you really know that, then you can take that into your everyday life.
Okay.
I mean, I take this into my everyday life, into my business life, into my, you know, things that I love to do and people I like to spend my time. This is what I take into, and I know it always comes down back to me. And if I'm experiencing resistance or anything in my life, I know that's got to do with how I'm showing up now. And if I ever get frustrated, it's just frustration with myself. There's nothing outside of me.
Very true. My only frustration is frustration with myself for not being 100% who I am all the time in all places. That's true.
Yeah.
I don't blame it on the situation anymore. I don't blame it on the people.
So what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? It's usually something we're afraid of losing. You know, so that's why we usually change who we are, because we're afraid of losing something. So this, you don't have to answer that now, but you want to just consider that. You know, what are you afraid of losing? You imagine what you desire. You don't have to. I mean, you're doing it anyway. It's just when I'm getting you to do it, you actually begin to realize I've been always imagining it. Your imagination is infinite.
Because I'm infinite.
We'll continue the conversation. It's come to the afternoon, it's 4:30. Pretty big day. We haven't gone out to see Italy yet. Got to head out there and have some Italian experiences, not just with the food.
Is there other
Any other thing to do?
Italian men and Italian women. Have you noticed Italian guys and women? They're very like the men in particular. Not like they're like all like the policemen. They all look like models. You think they're strippers or something, and then you think they're about to go to the girls. Hey, seriously.
I'm going to be imagining that.
Yeah, you see, like I'm walking out right, and I'm just thinking, if I was a woman or a man, if I'm into men, whatever, but I'd be walking around going, is he going to take his shirt off? Like, they're all like Dolce & Gabbana models. That's been my observation anyway.
That's true.
And they're
Is that 'cause
huge.
you
That's true, see?
glasses?
Can you imagine what you design?
So we're coming back after this break?
No, we're not. So we're going to break now, and we're going to go to dinner. The bus is picking us up at 6:30, and we're going into town. We've got a restaurant booked, and we're going to dinner. So this will complete imagination.
For today.